everyone, and welcome back to Learn to Love DIY. Today we're going to be making this cute card here. So I believe it's called a box card. And this is how it opens, and this is how it closes. Now you could do a belly band if you chose. I went ahead and just did like a closure here. You could even go as far as maybe doing a magnet or a Velcro. Sorry, lost for words there. So this is my front, this is the inside, and we are switching it out a little bit. And this is the back. But I'm doing very, very minimal changes to the front. I wanted to see if a different color would work. And I guess we'll see how the other one turns out. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I created the sample, I created a template. And I put my instructions and I tried making it myself. So it's something that you might want to try at home before you recreate it. And that way you have the template next time you want to create a card. So I'm going to put that on the side. And then for this card, I did use the Penguin Play Sentiment, the happy birthday on the inside. And then I used this beautiful flower image here. And then this border here on the inside. I'm going to try to see if I'll still use this for the card or if I'm going to be changing it up a bit. I might end up using maybe the For You just so that it's like a general card. I think I'm gonna use this one. I think I'm gonna switch out my stamps. Thank you. You could even use the thank you on there. But I'm gonna do For You just so that it's more general of a card, and switch out the happy birthday and see how that one turns out. And you let me know which one is your favorite once you see the finished card. So I'm going to set these aside. I already have my stamps that I'll be using set aside. I did use the Elegant Tag Punch for the inside. That's how I tweaked it a little bit. I did use it before, but I'm using the full-blown piece, the cutout that comes out, which is this here. I wanted to see if I could do a little bit more of a focal point on the inside of the card and see how much that changes my card. So you'll need that. I'm also using the DSP that comes with the suite. Let me see. Don't have it on hand, or let me see if I can pull it out actually. So you can take a look. By the time you see this video, we'll even have our holiday catalog out. So I'm using the Simply Elegant Specialty DSP, okay? And I'm using the same pattern. You can opt to, if you wanted to recreate this card, to use any pattern or for any occasion that is. So, okay. You'll need one regular size piece of Very Vanilla, and this measures 8.5 by 11. And then we're going to go ahead and trim it to size. You'll need, this is for the back, a piece for the back. If you wanted to do writing on the back, you could leave it blank, or I matted mine just to give it a little bit of extra dimension and strength on the back. And that's, again, that kind of just depends on what you want to do. Let's see. I don't know if I wrote down the measurements for these guys. Okay, this one measures 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And then you'll need your Whisper, or no, not a Whisper White, your Very Vanilla. I think blends in. 5 inches by 2.5. Okay. And then you'll need, this actually measures the same, and this is for the inside. This measures 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then you'll need 2 pieces of that same DSP that measure 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And that kind of just depends on what kind of border you're wanting to create. So see the border there? If you wanted to make it a little less, or if you wanted to mat this just like I did over here, then you would just do your measurements accordingly to match that. So what I'm doing is, instead of doing the Very Vanilla with with the black on the inside. I'm going to see how the smoky slate looks. I'm trying to pull out some of the color here from the specialty, and I'm wondering if that's even going to look well, but I guess we'll see at the end. Kind of debating still whether or not I want to do that. So this will go on the front for the flower. So let's go ahead and get started. That way it doesn't take us too long to film. And I'll set all those tiny pieces on the side. Again, I have the template of how I'm going to go ahead and cut it and then score it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that aside for my reference, and I'll be dictating everything. So you'll need the piece to be 8.5, so you're not going to cut anything this way, but lengthwise you do need to cut 1 inch off. So you need it to measure 10 inches, okay? So you're going to cut off 1 inch. And let's go ahead and do that. I think I need to rearrange my desk to have more space, because as it is, it's a fairly small space that I'm working with, and I do have all my stuff on top, so kind of limits the way that I can angle my my paper trimmer. Sorry, I was gonna say my cutting mat, but no, my paper trimmer. Okay, so you're gonna take the 10-inch side and you're gonna go ahead and score. Remember, the lighter of the blaze is the one that scores. You're going to go ahead and score at 2. Let me line that up. Score at 2, then 3.5, 6.5, and then for that I'm going to have to extend the arm on this guy and move my paper down. So 6.5. I hope you can still see that. And then we're going to go ahead and score at 8. Okay. And then on the opposite end, you're going to go ahead and score at 1.5 and then 7. Okay. Or 1.5 on both ends, just depending on how you work. And then on this side, 1.5. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead. We've already scored it. I hope you can see a little bit of those score lines. We're going to go ahead and in the middle portion, we're going to go ahead and make a tick mark just at the center there. And this portion measures about 3 inches, so you're going to go about 1.5 here, and then we're going to go ahead and score diagonally this way. And I'll show you. Well, actually, why don't we do this? It might be easier to see if I hand score this. Paper piercing mat, and I need my stylus. There you are. Okay, so I hope you can see the ruler there. So this portion measures 3 inches, so at a 2.5, I'm sorry, the 1.5, I'm gonna make a little tick mark, and you're gonna do that for both ends. Okay, let me turn it around a little bit. Okay, so then you're going to take that tick mark, and then you're going to go ahead and, if I'm not mistaken, it's down. Let me just look at my sample real fast. Yeah. Yeah. It's having a second guess. All right, so from this corner to this corner. Okay, and then you're going to do the opposite end, meeting in the center there. And then you're going to do the same for the other end. All right. Okay, that portion is done. So now we're going to go ahead and fold on all of our score lines. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and trim. Okay, and we're going to be trimming this rectangle here and then part of this about halfway down of the second square. So I'll show you, and you're going to do that for all 4 sides. Just about there. And you're eating a little bit of that. And then you're going to make sure that you go all the way inside, creating that flap. And then I'm going to go ahead and wedge. Okay. So this is what you'll have. And this will permit you to go ahead and fold it inward. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that for all 4 sides. Okay, we went ahead and completed that. We can go ahead and either build our card this way or we can wait. I'm going to go ahead and do the center panel first, and I'm using my Tombow, my multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to go ahead and start assembling some of this card. Do the GSP. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, because I don't want the tabs showing this way because you'll write on this side, I'm going to go ahead and fold the tabs in. And then I'm going to make sure these guys are fairly malleable, so when you do the bending, they open and shut fairly well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and because we folded them both ways, this is fairly malleable and manageable this way. So there's your closure. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and apply the panels on the front. There are 2 flaps here. There you have that. Then we can go ahead and do the back. But before I go ahead and do my layering, I'll do that first. I'm going to go ahead and do my stamping really quickly for my inside decor and my outer, as well as the back. And I'm using basic gray. Okay, and then I'll leave some space. This is the one that'll go on the front of the card that I'll be fussy cutting. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink up the sentiment for the inside. And I'm actually wondering if I should do very vanilla for this. Let's see how it looks. Perfect. Let's see how it turns out using the colors I've already chosen. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. I'm going to go ahead and layer this very vanilla onto my basic black piece. And this, like I said, this is going to go on the back. Okay. And I think this looks really, really good. It works well with the colors, and I like the way that it looks on the back here. Okay, so there's the back. Now for the front, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and layer this guy. I did this form of layering in one of my other cards, and I really like that. So I'm trying it again. We're going to go ahead and put this towards the top so that when we open it, it doesn't get covered by what we're using for the closure. I'm going to try to put the flower towards the bottom. Okay, so I'm angling this guy on opposite ends there. Okay, so I have that, and then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut that. Putting it right in the center there. Okay, then I'm actually using two forms of decoration here. I'm using some basic rhinestone basic jewels, and then some Baker's Twine essentials from the essentials pack, and I'm using the basic black. I'm actually doing a double knot. I do believe that's it for the tombow there, and I just double it up this way, and then I attempt to do my bow. Although it's kind of hard to tuck and make at the same time, I feel like it. I don't know if that's just me or if anybody else finds it a bit more difficult when you're trying to tuck and create this. So I think that looks fairly decent compared to some of my other bows. So I'll set that aside. And then I'm just actually gonna need just one little dot. Putting this right on the bottom there of our flower. Okay. Then we're going to do some rhinestones. I did one of the medium sized for the bigger flower and one for the smaller size on this flower here. And I'm actually going to do, I think I'm going to do a couple of rhinestones in there. Maybe in the center so that we can complete our number 3. That's centered enough. Okay, and then I'm going to take some dimensionals, probably like 2, since I'm not going to adhere it to completely to one panel. It's going to be sticking out a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and put it towards the bottom there. I'm hoping that gets covered up. Okay, so that when you open it, you can still see the sentiment on the center. So for you, and I have, this looks a little crooked. What do you think? Or is it the bow? There we go. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you haven't already, I would love it if you'd subscribe. Please let me know what you guys think of this box card in the comment section below. Here is the back. So this is a little bit of a twist from the original. This is what the original looks like. I did the sentiment towards the bottom. Still trying to give it clearance for this to show, as well as the inside. And the back I left untouched. But I did switch out a little bit of the coloring on the inside and the outside, and then the shape of the sentiment portion in the center there. So there you have it. Again, please subscribe or give me a big thumbs up if you really like this tutorial, and let me know if you're looking for more of these type of tutorials. I'd be happy to go ahead and share my ideas or my take on any project that you might have in mind. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a great day.